Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Penalty Box podcast. I'm your host, Mia Redders, and it has been a week. I mean, it hasn't been that crazy. I'm going to be completely honest with you. There hasn't been much happening, but we're still going to make it fun. We are still going to have a weekly episode, as always, and I'm going to share all the updates with you. We're going to hop into our recent trade recap, which we talked about last episode, and you guys seem to be liking the name and liking how it sounds, so we're going to keep it that way, even though we do cover, signing and a little bit of everything, but I like the catchiness, so I agree with you guys. Anyway, the Blues added another defenseman to their team. They signed Ryan Suter to a 1-year, $775,000 deal, which is pretty good. The Rangers re-signed Braden Schneider to a 2-year, $4.4 million contract. They also re-signed Chad Ruhwedel. He's back for another year with a $775,000 contract. Jet Greaves is going to be staying on the Blue Jackets. He just signed a 2-year, $1.63 million deal. Obviously, there will be more changes, but this is what I have so far. Not too much, but we're going to go to our hockey hot topics because that is my favorite part of the episode. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Our first hockey hot topic is actually kind of sad, unfortunately, and it's that Torrey Krug from the St. Louis Blues is actually in danger of missing the entire 2024-2025 season because of changes that are happening with his ankle condition, which is literally so sad. But the team announced that he is trying to rehabilitate this injury over the next 6 to 8 weeks, and then he will make a decision after, he reevaluates and all of that. But as of right now, he's out indefinitely, which is just it's heartbreaking. I mean, I can't even imagine how frustrating it is devoting your life and your time and your energy and everything into something and being injured and not being able to do that. But anyway, the team said that this is because of a broken bone that he had earlier in his career. Actually, it happened apparently in a preseason game against Boston. So that's what I know so far. I hope he feels better. I hope he gets better. It's definitely rough. The next hockey hot topic is also kind of bittersweet, and it's that Joe Pavelskj is retiring from the NHL after 18 seasons. He had 476 goals and 1,068 points with the Stars and the Sharks. We heard about this retirement literally yesterday when I'm recording this, and while it isn't too surprising because he is 40 years old, and while that is not old in general, it is towards the older end in the hockey world. But he officially announced that he is retiring, and let me just say he has made his mark. So it's definitely bittersweet, but I think it is a good choice at this point. He said, quote, "I think I'm ready to step away from the game on the playing side of things and go from there. There's no plan to play. I don't want to use the R word, I guess, right away, just for the fact that there isn't nothing set in stone, but that is the plan that we're not playing. I wanted just a little bit of extra time after the season to think about it. I was pretty comfortable with that plan then, so I didn't want to keep people hanging and thinking and talking about certain things, but it's a pretty clear outlook. Over the last month, we've given it more thought. It's a great time for us as a family and as a career," end quote. And we, like I said, we kind of expected this. He did say he wasn't really planning to play next season, and this was this past season he said that, but he didn't really say anything else besides that, so we were just kind of maybe he'll change his mind, I don't know, but I think he has had an incredible run. This past season was kind of rough because Dallas was defeated by the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Final, I think in 6 games, so that's a rough ending, but he has had so many incredible stories, and he has made it very far, so congratulations on your not R word, because you don't want to call it that. So congratulations on stepping off the ice, but still working, I guess, in hockey. Congrats. This next story is actually really heartwarming, and it is that a new Columbus Blue Jackets themed playground opened, and it said that there is going to be this huge impact because of it at a YWCA shelter. Now, it's not just a Columbus Blue Jackets themed playground, which is already like sick. I can't even imagine a Bruins themed playground or a Devils themed playground, but this one actually has 3 different areas in it, and I think it is so cool. The first section is the Safe and Sound Playground, and it is this soft play area for kids that are around like 0 to 5. And then there is the Daycare Playground, which is like a basic playground for kids that are like 5 to 12. And then the Sports Court, which is absolutely crazy, but it's made so that kids can engage in active and organized play. That's what the Blue Jackets says on their website. And the reason this is possible is because the Blue Jackets Foundation donated $326,000. And then other people could donate as well from the Columbus community, but a lot of it was from the Blue Jackets Foundation. And if you're wondering what the YWCA is, it's a place that provides services for kids and families in need that are in Ohio. Most of the people here don't have homes or are unable to meet the high housing costs. Some are women that have children and are raising them alone. So this is a really important place, and it's so cool that they are now going to have this awesome playground. And it is so cool looking. I wish that I could show you what it looks like, but I highly recommend Googling it. They have a fun little Zamboni thing. It's really cute, and I would have loved that growing up. Good for you, Columbus Blue Jackets. I want to see more of this stuff. This warms my heart and it makes me so happy. This next hockey hot topic isn't exactly about an NHL team exactly, but it's very funny and it happened recently and I think it's cool. It's always fun to see NHL things happening outside of the NHL world, if that makes sense. But anyway, what happened was Kenan Thompson, he's an actor. He was on the Late Night with Seth Meyers show. I think that's what it's called. I don't watch it, but he was with Seth Meyers. And if you did not know, Kenan Thompson, he's been on a ton of things, but he was also on the movie The Mighty Ducks. And we have made an episode about this and spoken about movies that have really made an impact in the hockey world, and this is one of the biggest ones. Anyway, Kenan Thompson went on the show and he actually gave Seth Meyers a customized Anaheim Ducks sweater. And it is the new one with their whole new design that is going to be debuted this season. And I think that is just so random, but I also absolutely love it. The back of the jersey says Tyler, and that's a reference to Kenan Thompson's character in the franchise. He played Russ Tyler in the second movie. And for those of you who don't know, like I just said, it is a film trilogy, and it literally inspired the NHL franchise, and I've talked about it in a bunch of episodes before. Highly recommend watching it. It's definitely a good one. But Kenan actually was on the show, and he was talking about how he learned to skate on set of that film, and he has been using that ever since he learned it. And Seth Meyers actually said that Kenan Thompson was always the best skater at the Saturday Night Live Christmas parties, and I just think that is so funny and so sweet. And like last week when we were talking about people going to the Eras Tour, I just love fun stories like that aren't so serious and sad all the time. Our next hockey hot topic is for our Ottawa Senators fans, and it is that they just announced that they are going to be doing a Sens rally tour, which is super cool. And what that is they're going to be having these little rallies across cities in Canada. They're going to be in I don't want to mess any of these names up, but they're going to be in Canada, okay? I think it's all in Ontario for the most part. And I don't know if that helps at all, but I'm sorry, Canadian listeners. Most of our listeners are from the US, I have to say that. But anyway, they're going to be doing that, and every day it's going to go from 4 to 7 p.m., and there's going to be activities and prizes, face painting, balloon artists, posing with a pro, an ice cream truck, and some of the prizes that are going to be awarded include tickets to games, jerseys, more, and there actually are going to be guest appearances and autographs and meet and greets. So that sounds super exciting. If you're from Ontario or you are super rich and can go for it. I would love to hear how it is. Our next hockey hot topic is that the Panthers' names are officially engraved on the Stanley Cup, which is a huge deal for our rookies here, if you didn't know, the Florida Panthers just won their first ever Stanley Cup. And when you do win, all the names, the team, all of it goes on to the Stanley Cup. And you can Google pictures. It looks so cool. But they posted a picture online, and all 53 members of the Panthers team and staff were added to the trophy. The owner, Vincent Viola, and his family were at the top, and then it was the general manager and the head coach, and then the captain, and then all the teammates in alphabetical order. Out of the 24 players that are on the trophy, 22 of them are on there for the first time, which is a huge deal. Another really cool fact that I don't know if everybody knows, but if you were on a team for at least 41 regular season games or one game in the Stanley Cup final, that's 41 is half of the season, by the way, you automatically get your name on the cup, which means that Florida had to have, I think it was one of their defensemen, Josh, I don't know his last name, Mahura, I think, but he is with the Kraken now, and also Jonah Gadovich's name. So even though they are not with the Florida Panthers anymore, they still were getting their names on the trophy, which I think is cool, but I feel like at the same time, it's probably bittersweet because you want to celebrate, but you're not on that team anymore. It must be such a strange feeling. The Stanley Cup has been going on tour. It actually, my friend just got to be with the Stanley Cup and see it in real life at a bar in his town, because I'm pretty sure their goalie is from there or something. That's what he told me, but it seemed very cool, and I'm jealous, and I wish I could see it. Our last hockey hot topic is that this is actually such a random crossover to me for some reason. I know it's not that random, but to me it's just what are you doing? But it's that Matthew Tkachuk was partying with Travis Kelce, which is just it feels like two Disney shows crossing over. What happened was a video started surfacing of Tkachuk partying with Travis Kelce and a bunch of other people like Blake Griffin, Chase Crawford, Miles Teller, literally the people you would not expect to be together, all together, partying and hanging out and vibing. And I mean, it looked pretty fun, but it was just the randomest group of people you could possibly imagine. And apparently they all got together after a golf tournament, and the golf tournament's actually called the American Century Championship Golf Tournament, if you did not know, and it is an annual thing, and celebrities and athletes, they all get together at this resort, and it's this fancy golf tournament, but it's not just a tournament, because they also have contests, challenges, just stuff like that. And actually other NHLers were there, TJ Oshie and Joe Pavelski. They were both there. Anyway, it was kind of cool to see them partying together because, as we know, Matthew Tkachuk just won the Stanley Cup for the first time with the Panthers, and Travis Kelce just won the Super Bowl. I believe it was the Chiefs' third time since 2019. I don't know. I really don't know much about football. But it's not just that they were spotted together, because Tkachuk actually posted a picture of himself and Travis Kelce on his Instagram story, and he captioned it "Champs." And I just think that is so funny, and I think it's so weird that celebrities all know each other. I know they do, and I know it makes sense, but have you seen that video of, I think it's Katy Perry in the bathroom, and J-Lo walks in, and they're "Hey, J-Lo," and she's "Hi, baby," and it's just imagine just being in a bathroom next to J-Lo or Katy Perry. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, this is what that feels like that they're all just classmates in a way. All right, we are going to move on to our Hockey 101, and today we are going to be talking about the teams that have changed the most this offseason. Granted, the offseason is not done, things can always happen, but as of right now, when I'm recording this, these are the teams that have changed the most. First up, I would say the Chicago Blackhawks. Despite having Connor Bedard, who is awesome. I mean, he won the Calder Trophy. Actually, while I'm recording this, or the day I'm recording this, it's his 19th birthday, so happy birthday, Connor Bedard. Anyway, sorry, but they really needed offense. They really did, and sometimes teams can completely fumble that, and sometimes they don't fumble, and the Blackhawks actually did not fumble. They added a bunch of people onto their team, and actually got a net gain of 56.5 goals above replacement. This statistically makes them the most improved team heading into next season, which, I don't know if I like that. Next up is my third favorite team ever, the Nashville Predators. We all know they added some big names, and they actually got a net GAR of plus 33.9. And the people they brought on really brought on experience and kind of made the Predators a more, I guess, like a team with more veterans, a more stable team. And I really do think they're going to be a team to watch out for. I really, really do. Number 3 is the Washington Capitals. They had an upsetting past season, unfortunately. They left the playoffs really early, but they actually seem to have really focused on bringing in people that they need and bringing this like new talent to make their team deeper. They added a GAR of 31.5, which is pretty good. The San Jose Sharks also made some pretty good improvements. They added Tyler Toffoli and Jake Wallman and a bunch of others, and that gave them a net GAR of 26.1. They definitely have more room to improve, but I mean, already I think they're turning things around in a huge way. Tyler Toffoli is a huge add. I would just say Tyler Toffoli is a great guy, and I'm kind of upset that we only got him for a season on the Devils. I feel like we deserved a little bit more, but I mean, I wish him the best. The Maple Leafs also have been addressing their defensive and goaltending issues. They brought on a bunch of people, and that led to a net GAR of 24.3, and this could really push them past their little playoff hump. Like, listen, I want my teams to win. We all want our teams to win. But it is pretty dang cool watching teams win their first ever Stanley Cup. Like, I don't love the Panthers because you know what happened 2 seasons ago, we all know, with the Bruins. But I loved watching the fans get so excited and, like, celebrate. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine how exciting that is on the other end, if that makes sense. I'm an empath. I'm an empath, if you couldn't tell. I actually cried because I saw a TikTok of a girl crying when they won the cup, and I started crying because I just was like, that is so incredible to be, like, a lifelong fan, or even just a couple of years or whatever, and watching your team win right in front of your eyes, making history. Like, that is pretty dang cool. I think that the Devils are probably one of the last teams that benefited so far this offseason. They really changed around the roster and got a net GAR of 21.6. And let me tell you, their 2022-2023 season was incredible. 23-24, that was a shit show. That was so bad. So I just hope that these moves really help their defense and goaltending, because it's sad to see them lose. I mean, I know they're a young team, but they really, really do have talent. I just think they have too much of a certain kind of talent, and they're not balancing everybody out enough. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to lose more people. Like, we already lost so many of... It's just going to be so confusing this year. I feel like it's going to be a whole new team at this point. Now we're going to talk about the teams that lost the most value. And sadly, we're going to be starting with the Vegas Golden Knights, which is kind of crazy because literally, I keep saying literally, I'm sorry, but they won just a couple years ago the Stanley Cup, and they're fumbling as of right now because they have lost some pretty important people, and that totaled a net loss of 50.1 GAR. And it's going to be really hard for them, and I think they're going to have to find new ways to be competitive and keep their ways. But honestly, I don't know if this season is going to be the best for them. I think this might be a rebuilding season, but who knows? I really don't know. Weirdly enough, the Florida Panthers also are having a weird, off season. They've lost a couple key players, and that resulted in a net loss of 42.1 GAR. And I mean, they have their core team, but depth is really their biggest concern. And winning 2 times in a row is never, ever, ever easy. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but it's just it's not easy. So I definitely think they have their work cut out for them, but maybe they will make it far. We never know. The Winnipeg Jets are next. They have a net loss of 38 GAR. They lost some of their key players like Tyler Toffoli, Sean Monahan. I mean, it has really taken a hit, and they're going to have to rely on their top players. The Carolina Hurricanes also have pretty much the same story. They have a net loss of 36 GAR, and they're going to have to find new sources of production to stay competitive. The LA Kings also are going through a rough offseason because they lost some of their key players like Cam Talbot and Matt Roy, and that led to a net loss of 36 GAR. They are going to have to really rebuild their team and kind of hype up and, get their remaining main core together. The Dallas Stars have a net loss of 35.4 GAR because we talked about this, Joe Pavelski and Chris Tanev, and because of this, obviously, they're going to have to keep finding ways to be competitive and come out against all these other teams, which is kind of unfortunate because I thought they were pretty good, but I don't know. Now, I know I said the Bruins were cooking a couple weeks ago, but they're not cooking anymore. Well, they are, but they're not. They are, but they're not, okay? They brought on some incredible people, but, we lost so many incredible people that it's kind of like, oh, okay, so it just cancels out. But the Bruins, they lost some key players, as we know, Linus Ullmark, Jake DeBrusk, we've talked about this, and this results in a net loss of 29.4 GAR, and this is really sad. I mean, they're going to have to really, I don't know, I feel like we're really relying on rookies. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking, and I know we have some incredible prospects and some incredible people on our team, but losing so many core people over last season and this season is just, it's been rough. It's been rough for Bruins fans. Now, I know this was a short episode, but this week in the hockey world, there hasn't been anything too crazy going on, but I hope you guys were at least entertained for a little bit. I still don't know how to add the music in. I'm so sorry, but I'm so mad that they redid the whole programming because, now I'm recording this in my voice notes, and it's really frustrating because you can't hear my little Disney theme song. It's not Disney, but it sounds like a Disney Y2K, growing up song, Anyway. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, follow our social medias at Penalty Box Podcast. Our Instagram has all our links and information in the bio, and we post multiple times a day over there. But anyway, thank you once again. You are amazing, and thank you, Emma and Rachel, my amazing podcast team, for helping me with all my notes and everything. You guys are amazing, and I will see you guys next week in the Penalty Box. Bye, guys.